That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 172 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Judge Judy. Which I feel like I've said that before.
May have.
Hello.
And before we get into any of these longer stories, oh wait, no, I fucked that up. We're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and political.
Hey.
Not really political, but you'll get it. You'll get it. Just wait.
This is a political podcast.
Yeah, I'm. People always say I remind them of like a really dumb Jon Stewart. So
there you go.
And he's Judge Judy.
Yeah, we're here to take the Republican Party because that chair's open now.
I'm not going to prison anytime soon, so I think I got a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
But before we catch up, sorry if I sound weird. I feel like my allergies are kicking my ass today.
Yeah, we're both a little sick today.
Yeah, I don't know. But the show must go on, and I don't care what any kind of pollen be trying to beat me up. I'm going to fight back with this excellent news story as Catholic Church claims to have seen really, really cool miracle.
Is it a quote?
So the reason I chose this article is because I just love how it's written. It's funny. It's so funny. So it says a Roman Catholic priest claims his church in Connecticut was the scene of a miracle that saw Eucharistic hosts multiply last month. You know what the Eucharistic host is?
No.
Like the Eucharist, the body of Christ. The little circular crackers that stick to the roof of your mouth when you pop them in.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
So this Reverend Joseph Crowley was concluding mass at St.
That's a great last name to be working in a church.
He's a black magician. He's just like, we talked about Crowley a couple episodes back.
Alistair.
Yeah, he summoned more bodies of Christs. But he was working at this church. And it's just so funny that this is even news. When he announced that the Eucharistic minister saw the host inexplicably multiply while he was distributing them to the congregation.
He's on acid.
It says, quote, "What happened is our Lord multiplied himself," Crowley said, according to the outlet. And it says, Crowley became emotional when he told parishioners about his alleged miraculous multiplication of the host, which Catholics believe becomes the body of Christ. And here's the quotes. It goes, "One of our Eucharistic ministers was running out of hosts, and suddenly there were more hosts in the ciborium," he said. "God just duplicated himself in the ciborium."
There are no rules.
And then he goes, "It's really, really cool when God does these things. And it's really, really cool when we realize what he's done. And it just happened today," the priest continued. "Very powerful, very awesome, very real, very shocking. But also, it happens, and today it happened."
Oh, my God.
It seemed like it didn't happen.
Nah, it's just not feeling very honest.
And then he goes, "They were running out of hosts, and all of a sudden more hosts were there. So today, not only did we have the miracle of the Eucharist, we also had a bigger miracle. It's pretty cool," the priest also said. It's like, wow. I don't know.
This is riveting.
You don't
Riveting journalism.
I'm picturing the fucking like the Keith, the altar boy, just sitting there being like, "I should tell him I poured more in there." Like,
yeah.
It comes from a bag in the back. Like it's like, it's just so funny that this just reminds me. I'm not shitting on any religions, but it just makes me laugh when anybody takes something that's like not very miraculous and they go, "This is a miracle." I was scrolling through Instagram and I somehow stumbled across like religious TikTok where this guy or whatever I was on, and this guy was just like, "This is a miracle." And I'm like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And they're like, "These kids have held a sermon for 4 days straight. I'm like,
yeah, Red
I
Bull.
don't know,
do
man.
that.
Just kind of seems like they're just staying there for 4 days. Like
The kids found a discontinued pallet of Bang energy drinks at the dump and just started preaching to God.
I'm like, I've seen like a guy keep his hand on a Ford Raptor for about a week straight. Like, I don't know, is that a miracle? First one,
man.
last one to have their hand on the Ford Raptor gets to bring it home.
Hell yeah.
Like those radio contests and shit.
Yeah.
So it just makes me laugh when just normal shit is miraculous because it's associated. It has to do with like some kind of religious pretense or something like that. It's so funny. But this story is just really, really cool, really awesome, and it happened.
It did happen.
I feel like the guy, the reporter was just kind of giving him like a face, like, "Hey, you sure?" He's like, "It happened. Oh, it happened. You had to be there. It happened. Definitely happened." But that was a good one. I love that story.
Yeah, I love miracles.
I hope God finds my bank account soon. Double that.
Yeah.
Double it. Give it to the next person. Sir, this is $16. Anyway.
All right. Monopoly game ends in samurai sword fight with man said to be fighting for his life.
Is his life one of those boulevards? This joke would have been really funny if I could literally pull out any Monopoly reference.
Yeah. Small shoe. Dog. Hat.
What's that boulevard? Boardwalk Empire? No, that's a show. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have Monopoly in my family growing up because we couldn't handle Monopoly in my family growing up.
More of a mousetrap family.
Oh, absolutely.
And by that, I mean they just lay him out across the floor and roll around.
Yeah, like in Jackass.
Exactly. I'm guessing that somebody lost at Monopoly, right?
I don't know if it didn't really say if someone won or lost. It just says that they were in an argument. They were playing Monopoly outside of their house, which is a strange move.
That's weird.
It is in Brussels, so that explains anything.
Is it nice there?
I don't know. It's not here.
Brussels. Is Monopoly different there? Because Monopoly is like kind of inherently, it seems just very American.
Yeah. No, it's probably the same.
Yeah, I guess they have avenues there.
Yeah, but so they
have jail there.
Yeah, they got an argument. One ran
Free
inside,
parking.
came back out with a katana, and then two of them wrestled for the katana, and they both got cut, and they both ended up in the hospital.
Whoa.
Pretty exciting.
I guess that's like a good weapon to like threaten somebody with, but like you can't.
A katana in the wrong hands is basically useless.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, first off, nice fedora. Second off, I just mean it's a great, like, if somebody pulls out a gun, the friendship's over, right?
Yeah, it's hard to recover from a gun.
If you pull out a katana, baseball bat, something like that,
yeah,
there's talking me down, and we could finish the game.
Yeah.
But I want to show you that.
But I want to hold the sword for the rest of the game.
Exactly. I'm on the brink of becoming newsworthy. I just say that throughout the whole night.
Yeah. You're boiling over.
Yeah, I didn't really like Monopoly that much. I never really finished the games.
Too time consuming.
Oh my god. The last like couple travels around the board are like the worst. You're always going to land on somebody's like shit, and then you're paying them out so much. Can I tell you my one tactic though that I still use to this day?
If you want, I'm never going to play the game again, so I mean, you're falling on deaf ears, but
this transcends Monopoly. You could use this outside. Do you know what butt money is?
Butt money?
Did I tell you about butt money?
Is that when you put a penny in your ass every day, and then you put it back in circulation, so then you gain confidence because you know the person you're talking to has probably had
touched your asshole penny?
Yeah, had something in their hands that was once inside of your asshole.
No, but
okay.
that's another good tactic that transcends Monopoly. I wish Monopoly had pennies.
Yeah.
At this point,
I would eat them. Go to
Wait,
the
do you shove them up your ass, or do you swallow them so they eventually come out your ass?
You're supposed to, but I'm more of like, like a slow cooker. I like the long haul.
You like to swallow them.
I swallow one every day, so every day one comes out.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Remember when you ate that pebble?
when I pretend to eat the pebble, and the other guy actually ate a pebble.
Yeah. Is that at a wedding?
Yeah, that was at David the Coward's wedding.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, but I heard all about it.
Yeah, they had little pebbles holding like the food
The
menu
flowers
down or something like that.
Isn't it like shit that like you'd find in like a Mancala board?
No, they were real pebbles.
Oh, they're rocks. Yeah.
They had them holding down, I think, the name tags so the wind didn't blow them away.
Oh, I see.
And I pretend to eat mine, and someone
I pretend to eat mine,
and someone saw me do that, and then they thought it'd be funny if they also ate theirs, and then they ate their pebble, and I felt really bad, and so I just kept
Was it under your tongue?
No, I never even put it in my mouth. I just had it in my hand still. And so then for the rest of the night, I was pretending like I did eat the pebble because I didn't want that person to feel bad that they actually did eat the pebble.
Mm-hmm.
And
the guy's like, if I'm going to the hospital, you're coming with me, buddy.
Yeah,
like, sure,
I eventually admitted to not eating the pebble, and the other guy also tried to say he didn't eat the pebble, but it was.
But he had the weirdest lump right in his abdomen.
It was weird. His front two teeth were broken out after.
Like a cartoon. Anyway, I have to get back to butt money. So butt money is not anything to do with pennies, but it's where you take $500 when you first start the game of Monopoly, that $500 bill, you stand up and you just sit on it. You put it under your butt and you sit on it. And then what's going to eventually happen is later in the game, you're going to forget it's there and you're going to go, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get up. I have to go grab something. You get up, you look, oh my God, I forgot I had $500. It's like finding $20 in your pocket that in like a pair of old jeans. It's a great little motivator. It's a like a savings account you didn't know you had. It's just a really good tactic, and I recommend it for everybody. Butt money is the way to go.
How far does $500 get you in Monopoly?
I don't know, but like it's enough when you're like on the edge of bankruptcy.
When you're about to lose your family.
Yeah, I mean, it's got me. I have a lot of pickles. Got the katana. You pull out $500, you might be walking away from that one. So here, take $500. But to move on to the next story, speaking of bitter people, newlywed man killed after bride's ex gifts them home theater music system rigged with explosives.
Oh, that's fun.
That's crazy. So this was in India, and apparently this is like kind of confusing because like multiple wives are like in the picture, or like, so basically I'm just going to sum this up, but basically what ended up happening was this woman was like dating this man, and he was like, oh, I really like you. I want you to be my wife. Then she finds out that he has a wife already. And she's like, you're married. And he's like, I want you to be my second wife. Okay. And she's like, fuck off. See you later.
Hard sell.
So she goes, starts dating this other guy. They fall in love. They get married. And this guy's just super bitter about it. So I guess, I don't know if he got invited to the wedding or if he was just like, hey, let me give you a music system or whatever. And he gave it to him. And right when the guy plugged it in, it exploded.
Oh, that's lazy. So he didn't have it rigged to explode when she plays her favorite song?
No, not like, they played their song.
Yeah.
Like,
2 weeks later, cooking in the kitchen, trying to dance.
Yeah. No, I had to, So, I mean, it's pretty, honestly, like, I don't know. But this guy, his life, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty fucked up. It's fucked up, but of course, I mean,
we're talking about it, so.
I'm like, a guy gave another guy a bomb, and I'm like, this is fucked up. It's like, obviously this is fucked up.
The line's
like,
been drawn.
I don't know. It's just like it's so stupid. Like, people, like, I think I'm not gonna go off on a tirade, but it's just crazy
Okay.
to like lead with your like dumbass emotions that are like, you have a wife already and you're mad because you tried to trick another woman into marrying you. Like that's just like you're so mentally unstable at that point that like it makes sense, I guess, that you would make a bomb and give it to somebody. But,
True.
yeah, that guy's going to prison, but he hurt other people in that too. One guy died. And
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he died.
Who?
The husband.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and yeah, wait. Mr. Markham was previously worked in a stone crusher plant. What?
Important information.
Where he learned how to make explosives using ammonium nitrate. Well, I guess that kind of...
That's easy to get your hands on. You can get that at Albertsons.
It's right next to the mint chip. It's like the mint chip. So, yeah, just like... That's why I always say, like, when I get married, you better not buy me any gifts. But I get to sleep at your house whenever I want.
You're an idiot.
Why?
How else are you going to get a KitchenAid that never gets used?
What's a KitchenAid?
It's like the shit you like make like.
Isn't that a brand?
Well, everybody refers to the one thing as the KitchenAid. It's the thing that you use to like mix powder and milk and eggs and shit for like baking a cake or something.
Oh, like a mixer.
Yeah, it's the KitchenAid mixer. But I mean, everybody I know, you just say KitchenAid, they know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what's funny? I've been watching a lot of cooking stuff on YouTube, and I was like, I should get one of those. And I just know I would never use it.
Yeah.
I would have to start my own cooking show to use that.
The day after my wedding, I cut the power cord off of mine.
Why? What?
Well, it was just ugly sitting behind the thing. It's a display piece. And, my wife hasn't even noticed.
Gonna go home and do that now.
My wife hasn't even noticed that the thing doesn't work. I don't care the thing doesn't work.
I'm more of a mortar and pestle guy myself.
Hell yeah, I got one of them stone from Mexico.
It's so funny how many things we have in our kitchen that are like just for looks. Like, when's the last time you used that mortar and pestle?
I used to make. I actually
Pesto.
went through a phase where I tried to make salsa a lot. I mean, it worked out, but it wasn't better than what I was buying in stores.
Like, you
All
could
right,
just
fuck
do it in a
this.
bowl. And it was like, I
Just
need a
mash
stone bowl with the rock penis.
I just like the rock penis, honestly. When I'm in deep thought, I like to walk around the kitchen,
Holding it.
holding it, moving it around, just feeling the sheer weight of it.
It is nice and weighty, you know.
Yeah,
There's something about
love
the
it.
grinding on that stone on stone, you know.
I am a man who appreciates a good weight.
You're like one of those guys that likes like really really fat people to sit on them. You ever seen those people?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a miracle it happened.
I don't know what crushing is.
It
You said what it was, right?
What? Crushing?
Yeah, you said that, right? I didn't know what it was called before.
No, I didn't say crushing. I just said it was really. I see what you did. I don't know if you're still in the bit or not sometimes. When you told me that you actually cut the power cord on your mixer, your stand mixer,
I did not do that.
I believed you.
The fucking thing's expensive, man.
I know. You got to go make some bread or some shit in it now, right?
Yeah, that sounds like fun time.
You'd eat bread, I guess. Anyway, you got one more story?
Yeah. YouTuber shot in Virginia mall food court while filming a prank. Says he'll keep pranking after recovery. Just the worst. Just the worst.
I saw that too. I mean, the weird thing is, like, both those people suck. Like the prankster obviously sucks. That's most people will be like, you shouldn't have been pranking him. But then, like, the guy who shot him also kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Under, like, depending on what the prank is.
You know what's crazy is the shooter was charged with aggravated malicious wounding.
That's weird.
I've never heard that before. A good AMW.
Like, did he just, like, he's like, I'm going to clip your leg? Like, I'm just
He shot him in the stomach.
You? Oh, what?
Yeah, hit him in the stomach and liver.
Oh, my God. That guy's not pranking anymore, by the way. He's just saying that so he didn't lose. He's like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. I'm going to
like,
keep doing this till I get
you
fucking
didn't get
shot
me?
in the head.
You think you got me? You didn't get me. But yeah, no, I agree. Like those prankster people are like awful
The
and like
fucking worst.
yeah, they're really shitty. But like at the same time, the guy who shoots like I want to know what the prank was. If the prank was like I come at you with a chainsaw, and you get shot in the stomach,
Yeah.
like that's fine. But I feel like there's people who go like, I've tapped your shoulder, and some guy's like, oh cool, I can use my gun now legally.
He
I
took
can
my
probably
tray.
get away. Yeah, I wasn't done with my baconator. He had to die.
Go take that lady's tray.
Well, is that funny? Why is it funny? Because she's alone? Anyway.
Yeah, I always feel like these people love to prank too in like the worst places.
Yeah.
It's like a mall food court. Go to any
I
mall
didn't even
food
realize
court
it
and
wasn't a mall food court.
look around at any mall food court, and everybody's having the worst day of their life.
Yeah, no one's like, I'm so excited to eat this corn dog from a clown hat guy.
Unless you're in like a small town and that food court is the only like Panda Express around.
Okay, I do really like Panda Express. I'll die on that hill. I don't care how bad it is for me. Oh my god, it's so good.
But I'm just saying, like, unless that's what it is, then I get it. Then you're excited because that's fun. Because
Yeah.
chances are, if you only have a Panda Express in your food court, you probably don't have any other like Chinese food in town.
Yeah. There's always like a teriyaki restaurant though in a mall food court, right?
Yeah, it's
There's
always
like,
the
some teriyaki-
pretzels.
Wetzel's pretzels, a
Yeah.
little corn dog on a stick. They'll throw like a sandwich place, like a Subway, Quiznos, Jersey
Yeah.
Mike's.
It's all awful.
What's the best thing that you could find in like a fall mood court?
A fall mood court? What?
I fucked up and I just really committed to it. It's a fall mood court.
I'm getting
Actually,
a call from an unknown number.
that makes the most sense. Your mood does fall when you're in the court.
Should I
you know?
answer this? Should I answer this call?
Yeah, who is it?
I don't know.
Answer it.
Hello? They hung up.
It was Big Mall calling to fucking kill you. You better stop with the fucking slander or you're done. Or no more discounts at Gap. What is the best restaurant you could find in a mall food court?
Well, I mean, like, I think the last time I was in a mall food court.
The worst is Burger King, I feel like.
Really?
No, like a Burger King, like a standalone Burger King is like kind of like, okay, that's fine. But like
Yeah.
a mall food court Burger King, I feel like they gave them like half the machines and half the ingredients. And they're just like, figure it out.
They replaced
never
the
gonna be-
lettuce with the wrapper.
Yeah, you're just eating like the crayon that they marked the wrapper with. My buddy one time opened up a fucking burger, and under his burger was the fucking black crayon that they draw on the outside of the thing with, where it's like no lettuce and shit. It was
Was
just
it
a
good?
big. He didn't eat it.
Oh, coward.
He didn't. No, but wow, it was cool. But
So
yeah.
I was gonna say, last time I was in a mall food court was when I was in LA,
oh yeah,
and which those are always like fancy. Like, there's really not shitty malls in LA.
the Century City one, is that the one you're thinking about?
Dude, I don't remember what any of them are, but there was the new one. There's a really new one.
Yeah, that's it.
I had the worst meal I've ever had there, though.
What was it?
It was a ramen place.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, yeah, it's like 98 degrees outside. I'll do ramen. That makes sense. And so I went to the ramen place, and I got a ramen, and it had ground beef in it. And the ramen noodles were straight up like
Spaghetti.
Albertson's boxed spaghetti noodles.
No way.
I left a scathing review on Yelp, and the place shut down like 2 months later.
I was gonna
Not
say
not because of me, but because like I'm sure every single person that went there was like, "What the fuck is this?"
they showed up with like half the ingredients. That's what I'm saying. Like mall food
But
court,
the rest of that section had phenomenal food, which also made it sting a little bit more.
yeah, they have like a Shake Shack in that one, which is I love Shake Shack. Shake Shack's
And
fucking
then
great.
they've got like Chick-fil-A,
Yeah,
even though Popeyes is better. I said it.
that's an argument for another time, but they're both pretty good. Anyway, should we get into these? We're off the news by far.
Yeah,
Should we just tell these stories now?
yeah.
Are you guys liking this?
You're gonna love my story.
I don't think I will.
I think you're gonna love it, man.
Okay, well, mine, you're gonna you're really, really gonna like it.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you will. I really don't. I don't even know your taste anymore.
I know you're gonna love mine.
Okay. Well, I'll get into mine. Mine's like 3 pages. So yeah, you got a little good chunk of a story right here. But it's a fun one. It's not fun, but it's interesting.
Okay.
So let's get into it. Now, David, as you probably know, we live in a time where politicians and government workers are known for doing shady shit. Actually, it's always been like that. We don't live in a time, but
No.
it's 70s was probably
All
that
politicians belong in jail.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, so to be honest, I think most politicians are power-hungry ego monsters regardless of political party. Yeah, we got that out of the way. And even though we have a out fair share. What does that mean? What did I write? Anyway, we have our fair share of shitty politicians here in America. There are other places around the world where certain politicians seem to have looked. Are you making fun of me?
I am, dude. This is the first time we're recording before 9 p.m. It's almost 4 p.m.
You know I'm a better reader at night.
Yeah, I know.
No. Anyway, sorry. This is the only part that's real bad.
Okay, good.
So like I said, I have allergies, man. Why are you doing this?
You're seeing double.
Yeah. So there are other places around the world where certain politicians seem to have looked at poor ethics and a lack of human decency and said, "Hold my beer." Because today I will be talking about a politician that will make you say, "Wait, he did what?" As today we dive deep into horrible human being, certified psychopath, and first president of Equatorial Guinea, Francisco Macías Nguema.
Wait, other countries have politics?
So, if you guys didn't know, I had to look it up. Equatorial Guinea is on like the west side of Africa, underneath that part that like kind of juts out at the top left.
Okay.
It's like right underneath there. And things got real shady there in like the 70s and 80s. So let's get into it. So Francisco Macías Nguema, who we will just call Macías from now on because apparently everybody called him like Macías. Like that's what he was known as. So Macías was born in, there's a lot of words in here that are like, ooh, but Nafenga, Spanish Guinea, as part of the Fang people. Really cool.
That's cool. I want to be a Fang person.
Yeah, so it's Equatorial Guinea's majority ethnic group. So, I mean, there's a lot of Fang people out there. So
Love that.
Shout out to my Fang people. Just to really set a precedent of how insane this man's life and own mental state will play out, it's important to note that Macías was a Catholic school student, all the while his father was working as a witch doctor who also apparently killed his younger brother in their youth.
That's so cool. We have so much in common.
So like the roots, as we like to say, the roots are rotten. This guy's just like killing his. I don't see the thing that I was confused about is like he said he killed his younger brother in their youth. Did he kill Macías, like his son, or did he kill did the father kill his son, or did he kill his brother?
The way I heard it was that Mateus? What's his name?
Macías.
Macías?
Macías. Macias.
The way I understood it was that Macías's little brother was killed by their father.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. Or maybe, but
he was a real piece of shit.
Yeah, regardless, he killed somebody in his family. Not great. So, medical reports from his early career, Macías, of course, suggest that Macías was mentally unstable. And based on a report from 1968, the French Foreign Intelligence Service argued that he suffered from mental disorders and venereal diseases, whose effect on his psyche were made even worse by his regular abuse of abuse of drugs, such as cannabis in the form of an edible derivative, bahang, which is a drink with
made out of shit, right?
It's a drink with strong hallucinogenic effects.
Isn't that the one where it's the shit that's distilled?
No, It's cannabis. Are you
Oh,
drinking
I thought
shit?
he was saying the other one.
No. So, like I said, so he already had like some mental shit going on,
Okay.
and then he had venereal diseases, which I'm the first person I think of is who went crazy by venereal diseases.
Al Capone?
There we go. You know it. Yeah. So I'm like, oh,
I got
like,
one right.
Yeah. So
On
Al
fire.
Capone had syphilis, which it affects your brain, and I'm guessing like maybe 1970s, Spanish Guinea just probably didn't have a lot of contraceptives and stuff going on because I know they still have an issue with some of that today. So
Yeah.
there was probably like some diseases going around. And then this guy was like facing hallucinogenic cannabis.
This is awesome.
He's like, "Oh, you want a bit of the chocolate bar?" He's like, "I ate the fucking chocolate factory, dude. I'm done. I'm out
I
of this
am the
world."
chocolate. Skylar.
Exactly. So this guy's just like going. He's putting his brain. His brain is your computer with the fans running on like extra loud right now, just trying to cool it off.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, and he's just like, yeah, I'm cooking. Let him cook. So, several contemporaries argued that he was insane, while others claimed he might have been a psychopath. Luckily, though, this man would eventually run for president.
Whoop, whoop.
So, before he even had the idea of getting into politics, Macias had to get a job, and he set his sights on being a civil servant for the government. Sadly, though, he failed the civil servant exam 3 times. But don't worry, because he was still able to become a clerk in the Spanish colonial administration, serving as a court interpreter. Because rules don't matter, and underqualified people deserve to have important jobs too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is the shit that I'm, like, I don't know. I'm not saying, like, you can't, like, try as many times as you want, but, like, I feel like you should fucking pass instead of just being like, yeah, we'll just give him the job. He failed 3 times.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, 4th time's the charm. 4th time is
He
the
was gonna
all-access
get
pass.
it.
Yeah.
He was gonna get it. We didn't make him pay the $20 fee
No.
to take it. So, as court interpreter, Macias eventually began taking bribes so it started early. He began taking bribes to manipulate his translations to absolve or incriminate defendants. Can you believe shit? The guy's like, I was at home sleeping when the murder happened. He's like, he said he was murdering somebody at the time, and he was there.
Yeah.
And you're like, So the Spanish interpreted his important role in their many trials as evidence for influence and talent for leadership, and began to rapidly promote him. He became assistant interpreter, mayor of Mongomo, minister of public works, and finally deputy president of the governing council within a single year. He had 4 jobs in 1 year. And at the time, the place he lived, like Spanish Guinea, was a colony of Spain.
Okay.
So a lot of people didn't like the Spanish because obviously they were being colonized by them. So there were a lot of like protesters that were just being thrown in jail by the Spanish. But he was like, oh, I'm going to help the Spanish out. Like, I'm going to be an interpreter for them. And the Spanish were like, oh, cool. Like, you're loyal. We like you. We're just going to like promote you and kind of like make you like, we need people, boots on the ground, who are actually from that region because it's Africa and we're in Spain.
Yeah.
Who are going to like do our bidding for us. And they liked him. So they just kept promoting him and giving him more and more shit. So even at this early point in his career, Macias already exhibited erratic tendencies. And in a conference to discuss the future independence of Equatorial Guinea at Madrid, because they were going to give Equatorial Guinea like its own independence. Like the Spanish were like kind of leaving. I think they were leaving some like influence there. Like they wanted to have people that they would have in charge that would help them and, resources and all that. But they're like, we should probably give them their land back because this was late 60s, early 70s or mid 60s. So I think that was all kind of changing.
Okay.
But when he went to this like discussion, he suddenly began an incoherent eulogy of the Nazis, claiming that Adolf Hitler had wanted to save Africans from colonialism and only got confused, causing him to attempt to conquer Europe. Hitler was
Yeah.
like
He's high as shit.
Hitler was like, I kind of like wanna help Africans from like from getting colonized, and then someone like bonked him over the head with a stick, and he's like, "Wait, I think I want to take over the world." And at one point, I guess Macias declared himself a Hitlerian Marxist.
Oh, that's fun.
It seems pretty extreme.
A little bit.
So in 1964, Macias was named Deputy Prime Minister of the Autonomous Transitional Government. Like I said, they put him in charge of this transitional government. They're like, you're going to be in charge.
Do people vote? Or...
So we're going to get into his election. So, but at this point, he was like the prime minister. He wasn't president or anything. They still had to hold an election. But he was like top dog at this point.
Yeah.
This is actually more of a success story. If you guys fail 3 times, you can still become president.
Yeah.
You just got to manipulate some people, you know?
I mean, look at our past president. How many businesses did he banko?
True. So, like I said, he was in charge of the transitional government, but it was also around the time that Macias himself came to fear that he was mentally unstable. So he was self-aware of his like mind and what was going on. And before the 1968 Spanish Guinea general election, as you just asked about, at age 44, Macias traveled to Madrid where he was treated for his mental illness. And despite these concerns, Macias ran for president in 1968 regardless. So like we don't really know what happened when he like went to go get his like mental illness checked out, but regardless, he came back and was like, "No, I'm still running." So they must have probably like checked him like, "Okay, you're fine. You're okay," which he was not.
Yeah.
And he would later go on to employ a Spanish lawyer to write his text, providing him with a coherent agenda for his election, but he would rarely follow them, becoming easily distracted from his speeches and often made chaotic public appearances. This is actually kind of reminiscent of like, it says his bouts of erratic behavior were generally believed to be signs of fearlessness and a charming leader.
Ringing any bells?
That's I was like, okay. And it says his tactic of promising things he couldn't provide, such as lavish houses to all of his citizens, worked, and he won the election. He would be in like a city and just be like, hey, and he'd point out like European style houses, like very nice houses, like that were in, you know, the area, like Europeans that lived in Guinea, and he'd be like, hey, you guys like that house? And they'd be like, yeah. And he's like, if you elect me, I'll give you all a house like that. And they're like, oh, okay. And they just elected him. So after assuming power, Macias began to hold inflammatory anti-European speeches and claimed that there were plots to overthrow him. This was about the time his political opponent he won against in the general election, his name was Edu, read the writing on the wall, and he fled the country. He's like, this guy's president now. He obviously doesn't like me. He's becoming more and more paranoid. I'm out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, Macias's foreign minister did not flee and was arrested on treason charges, and he was executed by defenestration.
What does that mean?
That means, which is a fancy word for saying he was yeeted out of a window.
Oh.
They threw him out of a window. I didn't know it was called defenestration. Defenestration.
Huh.
Yeah, so hucked him out a window.
What window? Was it like planned or was
it
just very like, okay, this is
an open one and a high one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like he was executed, so I wonder if it was like a little bit. It seems like
was it planned?
It must have been. I mean, it must have been they imprisoned him and they're like, fuck you, and he grabbed him and just pushed him. I don't know. But they're claiming executed by defenestration. I wasn't in the room, David.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But just to make things matters worse, Edu, the guy that fled the country, was captured after fleeing and was executed with other senior officers at Black Beach Prison. So
too slow.
They went out of
what was the reasoning for him to die?
Macias just became like more and more paranoid, and he believed that like he was gonna be overthrown. So he was just like, no, like,
Conspiracy.
yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna get rid of like the guy who's running against me, who lost, who would be the most bitter at this time,
Okay.
and he's gonna do that through his whole career. It's just like nonstop paranoia. So when the news came out about what Macias was doing, the Spanish government subsequently organized the evacuation of all of its citizens, while the British ambassador described the Equatorial Guinean capital as being in a state of total chaos. Strangely enough, Macias did recognize his mental illness and made a secret trip to Barcelona once again to see a psychiatrist, but little helped since he was so far gone. So he also continued to like drink that fucking extra potent weed drink.
I would love to drink that potent drink and go to Barcelona. That sounds like a fucking blast.
Sounds so
Especially when it's a
nice.
secret trip or whatever he calls it. Awesome.
Secret psychiatry trips are my favorite. While I'm high on this ultimate weed drink.
Yeah.
So this next part is the thing that made me go, oh fuck, this is the story that like this is why I want to tell this story.
Worth writing, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like an insane thing to hear. But the horribleness. So now, like Spain and Britain and parts of Europe and definitely his own country are realizing, fuck, we maybe shouldn't have elected this guy. He seems a little off kilter. But the next thing that will happen is the thing that set everything in motion. So the horribleness of it all accumulated on Christmas Eve, 1969. Macias had invited 186 suspected descendants to the National Football Stadium in Malabo. When they all arrived, they sat in the stadium seats waiting as Mary Hopkins' song, "Those Were the Days," played over the speaker. So if you listen to that song, it's actually like, I listened to it a couple times. It's about like, do you remember when we were young, we would raise our drinks up to the sky and say like, we will fight. It's actually a really nice song. I think she's like English. She was friends with Paul McCartney. It's a good song. It kind of reminds me of like Italian mob assassination music.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because of this next thing that's going to happen.
Is it
because
kind
the
of,
song?
It's kind of like an opera.
No, not really. I can't describe it. Like, I don't know. Just check it out. It's called "Those Were the Days" by Mary Hopkins. And if you listen to it, knowing what's going to happen, it makes the song so much creepier. It's a great song, but knowing what happened during the song makes it really disturbing, because the song continued as 150 of the invited guests were shot or hanged.
Oh, so like the Red Wedding.
With the remaining 36 that survived being ordered to dig ditches in which they were buried up to their necks and eaten alive by red ants over the next few days.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the Red Ant Wedding.
Yes, the Red Ant Wedding.
Yes. But I just couldn't believe that. I was like, what? Like,
That's
all
crazy.
these 186 people, and you're like, I think these are all descendants. These are all people that are going to try to overthrow me. And they're just showing up at like a football stadium being like, oh, the president called us. I wonder what we're all here for. And then they just like, that's why I said when it's like assassination mob music, if you listen to it, it does have that like weird vibe to it. But it's also like, I don't know. Those were the days. He's just basically reminiscing on like, remember when now you guys are all corrupt. Remember when you were all noble? And now I have to kill you, and it's just like so disturbing.
Wild.
But 2 years later, May 7, 1971, Macias issued Decree 415, which repealed parts of the 1968 Constitution and granted him all direct powers of government and institutions. He used his power to institute Law 1, which imposed the death penalty as punishment for threatening the president or the government, as well as sentence of 30 years in prison for insulting or offending the president or the cabinet. So, pretty crazy. Now that he could just be like, "Oh, you threaten my life, I can kill you." It kind of gives him like a get out of jail free card, and especially just for offending him, you get 30 years in prison. Crazy. He also merged all of the existing political parties into one party called the United National Party and declared himself president for life. I picture
like Putin.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of similarities to Russia here too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you wanna talk shit about our government? Like, 10 years in prison. See ya.
Yeah.
We'll plant a nug on you. We'll plant a hallucinogenic weed drink on you.
Yeah.
Bud.
Put a scale in your backpack.
So at this point, he was fearful that the Spanish wanted to overthrow him as well, because they're like, oh, that was our boy. Now he's like fucking up everything. So everyone who had the wrong book, conversation, or clothing, was outed as a Spanish spy and punished either by imprisonment or death. So once again, started going after all of his people and being like, okay, you might be Spanish or working for the Spanish because of that hat, because of that book you have. You're going to prison, or I'm going to kill you, or you're getting chucked out a window. So he then allied with the Soviet Union, Cuba, and North Korea. I mean,
good company.
Name a better group.
What a trio.
What a fun time. While at the same time, he consistently tried to blackmail them, his new allies, into providing him with more money. So this guy was like fucking nuts. He was just like, cool, I got new allies in like some of the axis
places.
Yeah, the axis of evil. And then he was just like, by the way, I'm going to like make them so like I'm the most evil one. I'm going to blackmail the evil. It's like, God, man. So he would get drunk as well and accuse people of being spies and then punish them. And at the time, Macias also developed an extreme cult of personality. And I didn't know what that meant because I've heard it before. I know like the song Cult of Personality. But it's basically what Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il did, which the prime example of cult of personality is when Kim Jong-un, I think. I don't know. Which one's the dad? Doesn't matter. He claimed to... Yeah, I think so. He claimed to have gotten 18 hole-in-ones.
Yeah, incredible. Trump wouldn't even dare that. He just tries to get away with like 1 or 2 per game.
Yeah, exactly. So cult of personality is where you build yourself up to be like a godlike figure that is like untouchable. There's nothing wrong with you at all. And like you're able to perform amazing feats, and that's like the whole like thing. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that's what that meant. So it's really interesting. So he started to develop that and assigned himself titles such as Unique Miracle and Grand Master of Education, Science, and Culture. Pretty cool. So he was thanked he was also thanked before every mass of like, church mass.
Hey.
And photos. What?
Okay, just checking. You froze for like a second. I was just making sure we were still. I wasn't like lagging behind you. So continue.
No, I'm good. So they would thank him before every church mass, and photos of him were hanged outside all of the churches with the writing on them reading, "God created Equatorial Guinea thanks to Macias."
Okay.
So he had the direct line. So the paranoia continued with his mass executions of government ministers and assembly members. But all of the murdering even extended to his own family eventually. The president's paranoid actions also included mandating the death of those who wore glasses and banning the use of the word intellectual. I don't know what to say about this.
It's a bad word, okay?
It's not a good word. But he also went on to destroy boats to stop people from fleeing, and he banned fishing, and he was known to order entire villages destroyed just to eliminate one suspected descendant.
Oh.
Yeah. All of the judges in the country either fled or were imprisoned, and kangaroo courts became so out of hand that at one show trial in 1974, even the defense team of the accused requested a death sentence for their own client. That's fucking crazy. Imagine just being like, yo, I got you guys. Like, I hope you guys are like good lawyers. I really need you. Like, I'm really up against the president. He thinks I'm a descendant. And they're like, how do you guys plead? And they're like, guilty. Can he get the death penalty? And you're like, wait, what? You're like, you're my lawyers. And they're like, yeah, I know. But like,
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
like the definition of a kangaroo court.
Yeah. So prisoners sentenced to death were usually beaten to death with wooden clubs. If that wasn't enough of a reason to not want to die by the hands of this man. So in his last years, he stopped sleeping in the presidential palace and instead held up in a military guarded fortress with its own bunker and prison where he would hold about 300 prisoners at a time, and he would sometimes personally execute them. He'd go down there and execute them himself.
Cool.
He made everyone change their Spanish names to African names. He banned Christianity, Western medicine, and private education, eventually changing the national slogan to his motto, "There is no other God than Messias."
Oh, boy.
Yeah. As the country began to fall apart even further, he killed the governor of the central bank and carried everything in the national treasury to his villa. I don't know how else to just like depict this guy other than like he's the Joker. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
he's just fucking like, okay, I'm gonna kill the banker and just take everything from the treasury. It's mine now. People are like, the country's failing. He's like, well, I have everything. It's fine. I'm fine.
As long as I'm fine, there's no failure here, guys.
Exactly. So when the director of the Institute of Statistics provided Macias with demographic data that was, I guess, seen too low for the president. I don't know what he gave him in terms of demographics, but he's just like,
Voter
oh yeah,
approval?
like he's like, we only have like this many people left in the country, and the president was like so fucking pissed at that he dismembered him to help him learn to count. So I'm guessing he cut off his fingers.
Cool.
Guy's nuts.
Guy's just doing his job.
He definitely remembered how many fingers he got cut off, so I guess he did
Yeah.
learn to count.
Not going to
So-
forget that one.
Never. So since there was very little info coming out of the country at the time, it's hard to know the true numbers, but it was said that between 47% and 70% of the population fled the country by this point, which Macias responded with destroying the only roads out of the country and digging and camouflaging spiked ditches along the border. So people trying to flee on foot would fall into spiked ditches and die.
Fun.
In 1977, with the cocoa plants starting to fail, Macias instituted a system of slavery, which eventually gained him the nickname by the country, Dachau of Africa, which, of course, is a Nazi concentration camp.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. He became even more recluse after this and began to pace around his villa, saying the names of the dead, the people he killed, while worshiping a collection of heads per Fang tradition. So I guess he had some heads.
Yeah.
Even more disturbing to the servants was one occasion, however, when he ordered a meal and table to be prepared for 8 guests. He then sat there alone, casually talking with the dead. Macias ended up he's having a round table talk with just dead people.
Yeah.
So scary. This guy, oh man.
I can't believe I've never heard of this guy.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Equatorial New Guinea is so small, but like this happened
level
during
of
the
crazy.
70s.
Yeah.
This was all during the 70s. Like, what? The America did get involved, but I think the extent of like what we did was basically like say like, we don't like this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't really do much outside of that. I mean,
Okay.
to be completely fair, like Spain should have went in there and they kind of like put this guy in power, but we're just like, we condemn his human rights violations because he was very much doing that in spades. But Macias ended up sending his wife and 3 children to North Korea. Apparently his wife got surgery in North Korea or something like that. But he sent them there while continuing to murder his own family, like extended family, which was the final straw, I guess, for his inner circle. Finally, geez. A man by the name of Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasago spoke with his cousin. I think he was just, I don't think he was a family member, but he was just somebody who was just like, fuck this, I'm over this. And he spoke with his cousin, who was the head of the military at this point. And they ended up storming the villa as Macias. So they basically turned the entire military on him. And they stormed it. They stormed his villa as Macias fled into the jungle. He was later found by an old woman as he sat exhausted under a tree eating sugarcane and carrying around a suitcase filled with $4 million. It was also said that right before he got overthrown, he knew he was going to get overthrown, and he burned over $100 million before fleeing.
Jesus.
Yeah. So after this old woman spotted him, she told the authorities, and he was arrested shortly after. To wrap this up, Macias was brought before the Supreme Military Council, where they charged him with genocide, mass murder, embezzlement of public funds, violations of human rights, and treason. Macias and 6 of his co-defendants were sentenced to death and confiscation of their property. I don't know why you need it anymore. Guess it doesn't go to the family. Macias was sentenced to death 101 times.
Okay.
Fucking crazy. I mean, it's more of
What does that mean?
That means, you know how people get 4 life sentences, 3,
Yeah.
like, he got the death penalty 101 times. That, like, they just were like, this guy is so bad, we really want to, like, make this, like, not 100? No. Add another. One more. Make it like the Dalmatians.
Okay.
He's definitely Cruel Devil. He's definitely Cruella de Vil. So, with no higher, this is the best part. So, he got rid of, like, he became absolute power for the country, and he got rid of, like, any higher courts and all these judges. And that was, like, his doom because I mean, not that he would have came out on top, but with no higher court available to hear appeals, he couldn't appeal his sentence. So the decision of was it said the decision of the Special Military Tribunal was final. So, that's what it was, because it was a military tribunal. It was like a military court, and they sentenced him to that. And they're like, it's final because there's no higher court. Like, you got rid of it all. Yeah. So he's just like, fuck, I did.
Bamboozled himself.
Exactly. So, however, one problem arose as Macias reportedly swore that his ghost would return and take revenge on those who had condemned him. The Equatorian Guinea soldiers consequently refused to shoot him because they didn't want to be haunted. So a group of hired Moroccan troops was instead employed to carry out the sentence. And 55-year-old Macías Nguema and the 6 other defendants sentenced to death were executed by the firing squad at Black Beach Prison at 6 p.m. on that same day. Here's the best part. The guy that overthrew him, Teodoro, he still rules Equatorial Guinea as of today.
Hell yeah.
Pretty sick.
That's crazy.
But it's literally like, this is what happened. This is basically what happens if, like, Kim Jong-il or, like, North Korea or whatever, you know, literally the 3 places they mentioned where it was, like, Cuba, North Korea, and Russia has a very similar political system where it's like, I'm your ruler.
Deal with it.
I don't really care what you say. Like,
yeah.
And that cult of personality, like, it's all there.
Yeah.
Like Putin riding the horse with his shirt off, like
his fake shoes that make him a foot taller.
Exactly. It's just like it's very weird how, like, all these countries are like, oh yeah, like, cool, we got a new guy, and then, like, he started doing shit and they're like, whoa, new guy, what are you doing? Yeah. No, we don't do that. And, you know, but he had like a 10-15 year run. It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. So, but the sad part of the thing is when he killed a bunch of, like, intellectuals and teachers, and, you know, like, made it, like, basically illegal to, like, learn anything. And I guess it still has an effect on the country today. Yeah. Where it's like the education fell behind so much because of him that they're still, like, struggling to get up to, like, their prior standards or whatever. And I was like, man, this guy, like, fucking, I mean, besides the fact that he killed a bunch of people, it's like
Yeah.
he left these long-lasting scars in the country, and it's just like, man. But
Hey, yeah, a ruler could do that for sure.
yeah. So that's the story of Francisco Macías Nguema and Equatorial Guinea. So check that out if you
Awesome.
want. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. All right, Tobin. Today we're going to do something a little different. Since the dawn of time, we have always had predators and prey. And sometimes the difference between the two can be a thin line. So, what is it that could be separating one from the other? Could it
Fangs.
simply... Huh?
Fangs.
Pecs? Oh, fangs. I said pecs.
Fangs.
Um,
Pecs too.
Could it simply be genetics, the rules of nature, or could a group of species be cursed to live a life of pain and disaster? Today, we will look into what is considered an age-old question. Why do all hamsters die horrific deaths?
Oh, God.
That's right.
David, this has been a week-long discussion. I don't even know how this got brought up, but David texted me about something about hamsters, right? What happened? How'd this get...
All hamsters
how'd this
die
hamster ball get
horrific
rolling?
deaths.
Yes, it's true,
It's factual.
but...
That's right. Now, listeners, I want you to think about it. Have you or any loved ones, maybe a friend or a sibling, owned a pet hamster?
I have.
And how did it die?
You could argue it's horrific.
Okay.
So hamsters only live for about 3 years, just so you know.
Okay. Yes, it's in
And
the story.
They're very prone to tumors.
Yes.
So my hamster got a big tumor on his arm. So around the 3rd year, he was walking around with just like a big tumor on his arm.
Okay.
And it started off really small, and then it got bigger and bigger. He lived a full long life, and the tumor wasn't harming him. We asked the vet, they're like, the tumor doesn't harm him. We can remove it, but like he's 3 years old. They don't live for that much longer, and we would be doing surgery on a hamster that like it's not bothering him. So one day he didn't come out of his little. I had like this nice little wooden house for him. It was very cool.
Okay.
And I lifted it up, and he was just sleeping in there, and he didn't wake up. His name was Melvin.
Well, Melvin died the most peaceful hamster death I've ever heard of.
I made sure of it. No one dies horrifically under my watch.
Well, back to what I was saying. How did it die? I have a strong feeling it didn't die surrounded by its loved ones, passing on gracefully in peace. Well, thanks to farewellpets.com, someone was actually paid to answer these questions. But before we get into this list, let's share some of the horror stories that hamsters have encountered. And trust me, there's a lot of them, so I will spread them out throughout my little segment here. Nithorian on Reddit said, my hamster used to climb on top of its water bottle and push open the top of its cage. One night, apparently, I didn't close the lid enough. In the middle of the night, I was awoken from a dead sleep by a loud popping sound. What? A few seconds later, I smelt burning hair.
What?
My little fuzzball had escaped and chewed through the electrical cord of a floor lamp.
Why? I just read a news article about squirrels because I know you're a big squirrel guy right now, but like squirrel like chewing through like electrical cords, and like somebody had to like spend like $300,000 to get all their like shit rewired in their house. But like, why do they like the feeling of chewing through that rubber?
I don't know, man.
I assume. Oh my god.
There was one time
exploded
when I was like 6 or 7. We had a dog named Rizzy, who I named because she looked like a grizzly bear, and she was like playing with something in the yard. We're like, Rizzy, what do you have? And she came towards us, and she had just like a smoking cooked squirrel who had electrocuted itself on the power lines and fell in our backyard.
Oh my god. Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, the electricity going through that little hamster's body.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Moonlight Night said, when I was younger, I pretended to squeeze our hamster with all my might in front of my little brother to give it a hug. I was 11. He was 4.
Oh no.
Later that day, my parents told me that my brother ended up squeezing the hamster to death. They never understood why he would do such a thing.
I'm guessing he didn't tell his parents.
No. All right, number one on the list. Body deterioration. It's clear to see that. Yeah, it's clear to see that hamsters have a short lifespan, and it has been studied that in nature, a hamster will only live for about 18 months.
In nature, I guess they have to be. Yeah, they are wild animals, huh?
Yeah, I mean everything has been a wild animal at one point.
It's weird. Hamsters don't feel like that they could survive very long out there.
Yeah,
Like
they're basically food.
Like a field mouse seems more nimble than a hamster. A hamster's just
easily.
like
Not very fast.
You ever seen a hamster's balls?
No.
You ever touched that? You ever felt the love of a hamster and its balls?
No.
Oh, they're big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably slows them down though.
Drags them. Yeah, exactly. You can't be dragging that on concrete or
Pulling
dirt.
an anchor around.
Yeah,
sailor.
seriously.
But in perfect captivity, a hamster can live up to 3 years, which is like the peak. That's like the max. So you did a good job.
He made it.
Until some unforeseen and horrific accident happens. So
giant tumor.
The real timeline is less than 2 years, because electrical wires are tasty.
They're good.
Number two on the list: weak hamster genes. Now, believe it or not, there are such things as hybrid hamsters, which are purposely bred to create a hamster with better traits of the two different types of species. But this can be a gamble, as sometimes the hamster is born with the worst of both, making it real fucked up.
So I know a couple of hamster species. I know the teddy bear hamster.
Okay.
I know the dwarf hamster.
Yeah.
Do I know any other ones?
I think that's it.
I think those are the big ones.
I don't know what the fuck a teddy bear hamster is, but I know that
that's standard. That's standard hamster.
Okay, because I was gonna say there's standard, and then there's like the pygmy.
Yeah,
it's like those are the only two.
Pygmy.
Is that what you said? What was it?
I don't know if that's an offensive term or not, but we're talking hamsters, so they're not gonna get mad. But I just know
fucked.
I know people said pygmy before, and they're like, "That's not okay." Like, because referring to people, it's like
we're not talking about people. We're talking about hamsters.
I know. I just don't know if
their
word
inability
is okay.
to live. Number 3, which I think is the most important, is hamsters are very fragile creatures. Hamsters have extremely thin bone structure, and their skin is very delicate.
I didn't know that about hamsters.
Yeah. You know that saying people, like the brag, like, I'm built different? You throw down a big dunk and you're like, I'm built different.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the same thing, but it's just the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like they're built different, but they're built to die.
They're like Samuel L. Jackson in
Glass.
Unbreakable. Or Glass, the same character, Mr. Glass.
With their weak skin, they are very susceptible to injuries and infections, and even the smallest bump or fall can cause fractures and internal bleeding.
Poor guys and girls.
A hamster falling from a great height can even cause them to explode on impact.
Stop. But that's true for everybody. Why did they make it seem like it's like it's?
Because we're talking about like 10 feet.
It's like a water balloon. It's like a water balloon.
Oh my god! It is advised that
Melvin fell off my dresser. Because like I would leave the door open sometimes while I was like getting his food and stuff. One time he crawled out and he walked on the little ledge of my dresser, and then all of a sudden, next thing I knew, I heard a.
He landed. Did he land on his feet?
I don't know where he landed. Probably on his back or something.
Well, I don't think I added it in this, but it did say that if a hamster falls on its back or head, it's fatal.
Oh, then it must have been.
He had to have landed on his feet.
I should have known a lot of this before I bought a hamster, I feel.
See, this is educational.
No, I was in the prime years before we knew, like before hamsters started dying horrifically.
Yeah. Back
Like-
when they weren't cursed.
Yeah, the past 15 years have been really bad for hamsters. Before that, like
Really
my
rough.
my era was really good. I got mine in fifth. I remember this. I got 2 things for my birthday. One was a hamster. It was
car,
Melvin.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
the second thing, I got Saw on DVD, the first Saw movie.
That is the most dangerous combination you could give a child.
I love
Without a
horror
doubt,
movies.
that is the worst combination of 2 items you could give a child.
I remember it was great. It had like a slip case that was like kind of translucent, and it was
Oh,
really
yeah.
a Saw on the front. It was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's lucky he lived 3 years.
Truly.
Game, girlfriend.
It is advised that if you have a home with a second floor, you keep your little friend on the ground floor. It is also worth noting that due to its weak skin, hamsters are more susceptible to heat stroke. So, huh?
I said,
Yeah.
Why?
So-
how are these things? How are these things not extinct? Did we just like get them and go like we're gonna start like making sure that these are like pets? Like, there's no way they.
Well,
existed out
that's
in
what's
nature.
crazy is because they mate. They're rodents. They mate quickly, but they
Oh,
also have a
yeah.
bad history of the father eating all of the babies.
Holy shit! You're right. Yeah,
So it is impressive.
that's. Oh. Is that the only thing that wolves and hamsters have in common?
Probably.
I think wolves like eat their young.
They
have
both
to.
they both got fur, and teeth, and eyeballs.
I think wolves eat their young if they're like, I'm gonna die and I need to survive in order to make
can
more
make more.
offspring.
Yeah.
And like hamster dads are like,
They're really territorial.
I'm feeling a bit cheeky today. He shoves them up in her cheeks. You ever seen a hamster fill his cheeks? That sounds
With its own children.
that sounds weird. Yeah. That was just in general, but yeah. It's like.
All right, more
I have
horror
one-
stories.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
There's one time Melvin got out. He did the jump from the dresser like 3 times. And
Okay.
one time I forgot to close the cage.
He's trying to kill himself.
Yeah, probably. And he made the jump from the thing, and I was like, "Where is he?" And the door was open. I was like, "Oh no!" And my dad heard me like freaking out, being like, "I can't find him! I can't find him!" And then my dad's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Melvin's gone. I don't know where he is." And my dad, like saying this to nobody, like turns around, starts like storming through the house, and he's like, "There's a fucking rat in the house!" He was so fucking mad. He's like, I basically made the house full of rats.
Yeah,
basically.
you condemned the house.
Yeah, and we found him. He was behind a pile of my brother's clothes in his closet.
Throw the clothes out.
No, he wasn't there for long. He was there for like a couple hours. Like he was fine.
Yeah,
he was just
right.
chilling, nesting,
Yeah.
with his big ass balls.
Dragging them all over the place.
He would never go in the fucking ball. You know the ball,
Yeah.
the running ball. No, I put him in there one time. He pissed in it and started running around the house, and it was like a piss fucking sprinkler. Yeah. My dad's like,
Lovely.
do not put him in that again. Like there's piss all over the house. My house is just a hamster piss house.
Love that.
Yeah.
So more horror stories. This comes from an Instagram comment. And I will leave it anonymous because it was just like the person's straight up name. My parents left me alone, so I let my hamster free in the living room. Why did he run straight into the fireplace?
Oh my god.
I watched Titanic after to feel better.
Did you send that one to me?
I think so.
I saw that somewhere. Oh my god.
And another one, this is from Stewie Lewis.
Big
And
Stewie.
he said, mine disappeared for months, then came out from behind the fridge, missing hair, looked up at me, and just died on the spot.
That's the worst. I guess that's not a horrific death, but it's definitely disturbing.
Yeah. Ruthless Brat on Instagram said, mine went missing, then I found it dead behind my dresser, with its head pinned between the wall and my dresser, with its legs hanging there.
No. That's like 127 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
but it's your head and you're a hamster.
I've seen that with like deer in nature. Like a deer
Yeah,
gets
they
its
get
head
stuck in a tree.
it's
Yeah.
antlers or whatever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, back to the list. Number 4, the wrong diet. You would think these little bastards were cursed enough. Let them eat whatever they want, but that's far from the truth. Hamsters are very sensitive to what they can eat, and hamsters have...
I'm actually nervous to see, like, I know what I fed him. I vividly remember it.
Well, he made it to 3, so...
Yeah, it's true, but what can't they eat, or can they eat, I guess?
Well, I mean, the list really wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
It was just like, give them some protein, give them some nuts and seeds, like feed them bugs, like nothing too insane. Yeah.
Feed them bugs?
Yeah.
Is that a joke? I can't tell
No.
if you're joking.
No.
Like you put
That's what they would eat in nature. What else is
larva?
dumb enough to get caught by a fucking hamster?
Yeah,
than a fucking
like a
ladybug.
Yeah. I don't think they're feeding them ladybugs. Maybe.
Maybe.
No,
Someone is.
Yeah. So, yeah, that one's gonna die. It's horrific too. No, I'd feed him like a little like brick of seeds that was like held together with like some kind of like honey or something, and then I'd give him lettuce, and I vividly remember this. I'd give him lettuce, and then I'd give him broccoli and carrots, and that was like
that's
his.
fine.
Yeah, right.
I read one comment that was like, I had a hamster named Oreo, and guess what I fed it? Oreos.
Oh,
And then it was like, yeah, it died.
diabetes.
So, yeah, hamsters are very sensitive to what they can eat, and they have a severe problem with digestive problems, nutritional deficiencies, obesity, dehydration, and weight loss. So it seems like they, the old hamster wheel won't cut it from their, problem with their metabolism, but...
Yeah. I still have an obese hamster. I wonder if my hamster, he
feel
had
like
the
they
wheel.
all are.
He didn't use the wheel that often though. That's the
Exactly.
problem. He did sometimes. I hear him going in the middle of the night.
So here's a quick story about them eating the wrong thing from Instagram user. What's up, dude? My friends chewed its own arm off and ate it and then bled out.
What?
That's lovely.
That's 127 hours. Oh my god, he ate his own arm?
Yeah, and then he bled out. No one ever said these things were smart. Number 5, they are susceptible to diseases. So obviously there is a long list that includes heart disease, cancer, skin abscesses, hair loss, and there's one I had never heard of, and it has an incredible medical name, and that is wet tails.
Oh, is that when they get like shit and piss on their ass or something?
Well, what the hell is wet tails? Well, here's the definition. Wet tail refers to a disease characterized by diarrhea, dehydration, and anorexia. It is common in a young hamster.
Anorexia in a young hamster?
Well, part of it is like the way that works is when animals are like just shitting their brains out, they won't eat because they don't want to keep shitting their brains out.
Oh.
And yeah. Or
Interesting.
it's either that way or it's just the fact that everything that they digest goes right through them to the point that's almost as if they're not eating at all.
Oh man.
But wet tail okay, I read that part. It's common in young hamsters 3 months to a year that are stressed or have a poor diet. Although the exact cause of wet tail disease in hamsters is unknown, scientists link it to Campylobacter bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
Wet tail in hamsters is fatal if not treated early. I just thought that was a wild name to name a fatal disease, wet tails, because they got so much poopy on their butt that the tail's wet.
Yeah, it's dysentery, you know?
Pretty much.
That's a pretty
Yeah,
funny one, too. Dysentery.
Honestly, that's just what it is.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Poop butt. Better than poop butt.
Some good old mud butt.
Yeah.
So I
Swamp ass.
mentioned heart disease. Let's hear a story from a deleted account on Reddit in regard to heart problems.
Oh, God. This is more morbid than mine.
I just got back from the store with my brand new hamster when I was 11 or 12 years old. Named him Rocket. I had let him out of his cage and he was running around happy as can be. He ran over to the dog I had at the time, who was laying on the floor. My dog wasn't too concerned with him, but gave him a lick right across the back. Just a gentle little lick. The hamster fell over right there and then and had a heart attack. And the son of a bitch, I had the son of a bitch for 30 minutes. Rest in peace, Rocket.
Oh no, his heart was too fast for this world.
Yeah. Now, Rocket's fatal story also relates to the next part of the list, which is number 6, stressors. Stress is the leading indirect cause of death in hamsters. Stress will weaken its immune system, making it more available to, illnesses and heart attacks.
It's like humans.
Yep. Oh, there's Chuck. Hey, Chuck.
Speaking of,
my new adopted pet squirrel is outside.
you're an enabler.
I know. Things that can stress a hamster out are inadequate housing, loud noises, excessive handling, inadequate diet, and change in routine. These pets sound like they suck.
They bite too.
Yeah. No, they will bite.
Yeah, they have big ass teeth.
They're
People always
allowed to
hate
bite.
People always hate rats apparently, but like rats are like probably one of the most friendly, human friendly animals.
Yeah.
Or rodents.
Yeah.
That
That's all you got.
tail, that fucking tail though, man.
That little skin tail slithering around.
Eat a gumai rat.
What did you just say?
You ever seen that guy fucking eating that large gummy rat on YouTube? It's like,
Oh,
gumai,
yes.
chumai
Okay.
rat.
For some reason, when you said gumai, it sounded like a racist word. And I don't know who it would be directed at.
You
but
one of those gumai rats.
something about that word feels racist. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because you said it, but
Make it throw up. Gumai rat.
no daughter of mine's gonna be dating no gumai rat.
That's cool. I like that.
So yeah, that's the end of the list. Strange to end on 6, but it is what it is. Shall I read more horror stories?
I guess so.
Another deleted Reddit user simply stated, "Fell in toilet."
You can fish him out. Did they flush it?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Could have been one of those situations. I remember one time my sister flushed a cell phone down the toilet.
No.
Because it was in like a chest pocket.
Oh
like a polo pocket, and when she bent over to flush the toilet, it fell out of her pocket as she flushed it, and it was like one motion of like splash flush. So you never know. Reddit user Lucid Josh said, "My hamster got crushed in the door while I was holding it.
What?
Me and my brother were hiding in a closet as kids from my sister who had just gotten home. We both had our hamsters in our hands with us. Me and my brother both had one. So as a stupid kid, I thought the hamster needed oxygen from being in the closet. Being in the closed
closet.
in space of the. It's just a type. I copied and pasted this because of a comment.
The closed in space of the closet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The closet wasn't all the way closed, and I gently opened it so my sister wouldn't know we were in there, and I stuck the hamster's head out of the door so it could breathe. My sister shut the closet door without noticing the hamster's head near the bottom of the door poking out. Not her fault. The poor hamster's head was crushed, and we screamed. As a kid, I naively asked my dad if he could be fixed. He said he had to be careful and work around telling me no. Hamsters Hamster met a terrible end. Sad day, sad face emoji. Sad day indeed.
That's a really bad one.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Reddit user Zelizez wrote, number 1, my hamster Snickers kept growing a side tumor that he'd eventually chew off. One time he chewed a little too deep and ripped open his intestines.
Oh! No.
Number 2, one hamster was on the wheel and the other got stuck under it, and the hamster on the wheel must have gone at it for over an hour and made the other one a pancake.
Oh. Oh my God.
Number 3, choking by stuffing his cheeks with seeds. Yeah, rodents in general like to die creatively. And I think that is a good last sentence to end it on. You know, I think that will be my last horror story, is that, yeah, rodents in general like to die creatively. And this brings me back to my original point. Was there ever a time, maybe a forgotten page of the Bible, depicting a story where a hamster did wrong by God, turning their backs to be forever cursed to live a life of pain and despair? Or were they only put on this earth to die quickly and painfully? Is it possible hell is just being reincarnated as a hamster to die over and over and over again in some of the most horrific scenarios imaginable? I would like to believe so.
What a wild story.
We're running out of ideas over here at the camp.
No, I mean, it's definitely strange and creepy and disturbing. Yeah, you don't really think about that kind of stuff. God, we need to start like crossbreeding hamsters with a more powerful animal. We got to get those.
You started a rat, then you moved to a squirrel, then you moved to a raccoon.
Yeah, what's like impossible to kill?
Well, technically, possums, besides getting like ran
Like an
over,
armadillo.
Yeah, but the armadillos are like riddled with diseases.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can't you get like syphilis from touching an armadillo?
Yeah, and
Something like
hepatitis or something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
So weird.
which is unfortunate because those guys are cool.
They're cool.
But possums are like immune to everything.
Yeah, possums look gross, but they're like, you know,
Yeah,
they're pretty.
they don't really
durable.
do much. I mean, yes, they eat ticks, which is good.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Good for them. Do you
they
think
always look like they're already skeletons. You know what I mean?
they do. They do kind of look like skeletons. I kind of like when they got all the babies on their back.
Yeah, it's fun.
People don't like that. They go, no, they're gross. And I go, I kind of like that.
When I see that, I like to point, and I go, field trip. And
Yeah,
I
school
yell
bus.
it really loud so everybody around can hear me. Field trip.
Sometimes
I'll go knock on my neighbor's door.
Yeah.
There's a field trip back there.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes when I'm on like a road trip and there's like horses or cows when I drive by.
Oh, yeah.
I say horses or I say cows.
Slaughterhouse.
No, I don't say
I mean-
that.
Field trip.
Oh no, when they look at you through the holes in the grates in the van passing by, the big truck.
And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, stop. I can't. This is enough animal death for me. I could take human death and the innocent little hamster death. I can't do it. Cow death, can't do it. Anyway,
They'll be back.
thank you guys so much for tuning in once again and allowing us to tell you these funky stories. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast at Instagram, and you can click the hyperlink in our bio, and you can get merch. You could listen to us where you already listened to this. I was fucking stupid. You can rate, review, subscribe on whatever you listen to it on. If you guys want to send us an email, send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. And David, do you have anything to say before we officially get the heck out of here? We're doing this during the day. We still have some day to go do. Some day to do.
It does feel weird not to be just going to bed after this.
Yeah, it is weird, but
I got to go cook a 5-course meal.
hamster with a side of hamster.
I've been spending the whole week trying to find small apples to put in its mouth. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Crab apples.
I don't know. I think they make small apples, right? Those crab apples?
I think so. They're made for
small?
crabs.
How small can they make an apple?
Hey Siri, how small can they make an apple?
Okay, I found this on the web for how small can I make an apple.
They
Check it
always.
out.
That's all she ever says.
Oh,
Dwarf apples.
here we go. Pretty small.
That's all I got.
Okay.
You're worthless.
Okay.
Siri.
Well, thank you once again. And David, do you have anything to say before we officially head out?
Boy, neuter your pets, spay your pets,
Kill your hamsters.
and kill your hamsters quickly and painlessly.
Do the humane thing. Just hit them. Drop a book on them. A Bible. It'll get them closer to the pearly gates.
Don't sneeze near your hamster.
Oh God. And don't forget to stay strange.